Andre Ward advising Caleb Plant the key to beating power punchers is to rattle their cage. What does he mean by that? Let's talk.
Push the weight and now flex. The live is 1 in the 6. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Well, Andre Ward advising Caleb Plant the key to beating a power puncher is to rattle their cage. What does he mean by that? Well, Andre Ward has had his fair share of power punches that he's fought. One of them, namely, is the Crusher, Sergey Kovalev, twice. First fight, he had to get up off the floor, had a little scare, got up off the floor to win. Second fight, Kovalev couldn't get up off the floor to do anything but lose. So, y'all know the drill. Boxing scene. Here's the article. Andre Ward appears to believe that Caleb Plant will need to do more than simply try to outbox Canelo Alvarez in order to win their undisputed middleweight title, super middleweight title bout. Nashville's Plant, the IBF 168-pound title holder, will face Alvarez, the division's champion, WBA, WBC, WBO, November 6th at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas. Ward, the former two-time champion and current ESPN commentator, was recently spotted in the gym working with Plant. Neither fighter has divulged what they worked on in regards to the Alvarez fight, but in a recent interview with FightHight.com, Ward seemed to offer one possible and somewhat surprising strategy that was broached: bullying the bully. I know exactly what Ward is talking about because that's just what he did to Sergey Kovalev. Is Caleb Plant capable of doing that? We're going to find out. So let me read on. Indeed, while Ward may have made a name for himself as one of the best defensive fighters of his era, he apparently does not hold fast to the idea that playing keep away in the ring for 12 rounds is always the best way to win. That isn't the best winning strategy. Ward, moreover, seemed to have hinted that for Plant, a defensively minded fighter, to be successful against Alvarez, he will need to rough up the Mexican on the inside on more than a few occasions. Let me stop right there. What's the danger in that? Canelo is a powerful and committed body puncher. I don't want to talk about anything else. Just listen to what I'm telling you. The danger of Caleb getting on the inside with Canelo is that Canelo really knows how to fight on the inside. He's going to have to protect those ribs, man. But I'm not the pro. Let's listen to what Ward has to say. He says, I'm not a believer when you face a guy that's powerful or a guy that's supposed to have punching power, you're supposed to avoid him and being perfect for 12 rounds. Let me stop right there. That is true. And he's not beating Canelo on the cards. One thing I will say is as soon as that bell rings, right now, in my opinion, Caleb Plant is down on the cards right now, and they haven't thrown a punch at each other. Well, they did throw a punch at each other. They kind of did throw punches at each other already. Let me stop. Let's be professional. The thing is, it is almost impossible to beat. No, not almost. It is impossible to beat Canelo on the cards. I mean, even when he fought Floyd, one of the judges gave the fight to Canelo. Pretty much. So yeah, I think Caleb Plant's already down 4 rounds, and one of them is a 10-8. So he's going to have to really fight. He's going to have to mix it up. So I agree with Ward, but there's danger because Canelo's body attack is something crazy. But let me read on. Ward told Fight Hype, look, I don't believe in that. Like, I like to rattle their cage. In fact, you got to rattle the cage. What I mean by that is sometimes you got to go to that power and smother it. I get it. Bernard Hopkins said that in reference to Felix Trinidad back in the day. You could look that up if you want. You got to let them know, whoever it is, hey, you can get hurt too. And then that enables you to box and do what you need to do. So it's a mixture of everything. Caleb understands that. He's a high IQ fighter. Okay. Ward's own career may serve as an example of his philosophy against the likes of power punchers like Sergey Kovalev. I just said that. Carl Froch, also. Yeah. Mikhail Kessler. Yes. Those guys, 3 power punches. Just to name a few. Ward often sought to manhandle them on the inside. Suffice to say, Ward, for all of his defensive instincts, understood he needed to be more offensive at times in order to discourage his opponents. That's 100% true. Can Caleb Plant execute to Canelo what Andre Ward was able to do against guys like Sullivan Barrera, Carl Froch, Sergey Kovalev, Mikhail Kessler? Yet to be seen. You may have to bread your butter. Like, hey, I'm a box, but I've never seen it work when you have a pure boxer, Ward said. Talking about Pernell Whitaker or something. He's different. He's a rare breed. I'm talking about modern day fighters, but they don't really have any physical strength and don't have any power. They just like to pick up and poke for the 12 rounds, and that won't get it. That really works. I agree. Ward, however, believes Plant, who has fought at 168-pound limit for the majority of his career, is far stronger than he has led on to believe in previous fights. Caleb is a guy that has more power than he realized, Ward said. I think he's physically strong. I just think it's always crazy until you do it. It's easy for fans to choose. It's easy to pick. The easy pick is Canelo because of the history of everything and everything he's accomplished. But I'm going to support Caleb, win, lose, or draw. But I think he has a great opportunity to go out there and shock the world. He just needs to put his mental on and make it happen. That is the article. Here's my opinion. I already told y'all I'm riding with the American. I already told y'all that. I already told you that. But there's danger in fighting the style of fight that Andre Ward says he needs to fight. But is Andre Ward wrong? No. He's not wrong. He's absolutely correct. Caleb can't outbox Canelo for 12 rounds and expect to win this fight on the cards. That's impossible. Even if it's a draw. We've seen what happens. He could clearly win 7 rounds. 7 rounds to 5. Right? They're going to give it to Canelo. Unless he drops Canelo 1 round, 2 rounds, or whatever. Even that, they'll make it a draw. So Andre Ward's ideology and his approach in this fight, what Caleb needs to do, yeah. Is Caleb stronger than he believes? Well, he's the bigger guy. And I know that Canelo, fought at 175. And you got to factor in the drug situation. Got to factor all of that in. But putting that aside, fighting Canelo on the inside, that's going to be tough because Canelo can fight on the inside. Now, to say that it can't be done, that's not true. We've seen Floyd Mayweather do it, and I know you're going to say that Canelo's gotten better since the Floyd Mayweather fight. I can't determine that. Why? Because nobody has been able to do to Canelo what Floyd has done. Can Caleb do it? I don't know. We're gonna have to see. But we also seen Miguel Cotto make it a tough fight. Canelo did enough to beat Miguel Cotto, but Cotto was in that fight 100%, 100% with the basics. Caleb is a little bigger, in as far as stature, and I think he's a better boxer than Cotto, and I like Miguel Cotto. Shout out to Miguel Cotto. So this is gonna be an interesting spot, interesting fight. Andre Ward's right in Caleb's approach, what he needs to do, but there's always danger there because Canelo's a dangerous body puncher. So we can put together the game plan based off of what Andre Ward said, but we're gonna see what happens. But I'm riding with Caleb. It's gonna be hard for him to win with everything else surrounding the situation, but let's see what happens, man. So salute to Caleb Plant. Salute to Canelo Alvarez. Looking forward to this fight. It's right around the corner. And let's see what happens. Bronx on deck. Move!